Man, what the world? There we go. We are live. What's up, Jennifer?
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh my! Look, we already got a Dane comment.
What?
Who's that? Oh, our favorite.
Good morning, Kirby Coat.
And so she's sporting the Depth Builder shirt.
I don't even have one of those.
Oh shit! Oh, that must be a typo. It's awesome. What's going on, girl? What do you think? Are you ready?
I'm excited. One, I'm excited about this conversation we're going to have today because it's kind of been we've been building on it with other conversations and then things that have just happened in our lives and all that. So I am so excited to dig into this conversation today.
You know, I'm my goal is to ruffle at least one feather, Jen, in this conversation.
I don't think you're going to have a problem with that. Well, see what happens.
I love it. I love it. And so first, I got a super important announcement for the No BS tribe. Everybody out there in the Omniverse, this week is Thanksgiving. And so if you need help with your desserts and cornbread, I am available to support you in getting rid of those. So hit me up in the DMs. We'll work something out. I'm just that kind of a giving person, Jen. You know who I am. I'm all about.
I know you're so willing to sacrifice.
So we got this thing here, Jen, about red flags. What in the world? What is this?
Well, we talk. I mean, people. I think in general, people have grown up like, oh, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Like we've heard that. Whether it's like, be careful. Or like, hey, you know, that's something that people aren't aware of. And when they become aware of it, it's like that's someone that could, you know, hurt something or that they can have a negative impact on things. So I think we've heard it that way. I think the way we're twisting it today and we're talking about it is like, do you know the red flags in your life that are sucking all the energy and all the air and all the things away from the spaces that are keeping you from growing and being who you're supposed to be?
Boom. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I love it. And I mean, hopefully, folks, if you didn't catch that, like for real, the last conversation we had was about honoring yourself, right? And it's what kind of almost migrated to like this idea of boundaries. But really, it's about how do you protect yourself? How do you value yourself? And then it kind of started getting into this like, oh, wait a minute. There's types of, I'm going to say people, and I don't mean people, I mean behaviors. But when I think about the behaviors, there's always a freaking picture of somebody that represents that behavior to me. And so the red flags that we're talking about, like just to try to be PC, is about the behaviors that like suck the life out of you. And more importantly, I'm just gonna give it all away right now. The way I was able to come up with the labels that I have, right, these red flags, was by observing that behavior in myself. And I think, folks, there's something to think about as we go through this conversation is, do you have that behavior? Or more accurately, how much of that behavior do you demonstrate? Because for like, it's just a part of being human. And ultimately the idea is, how can we help you tribe members out there in the Omniverse put some labels and some parameters, and you can use your own labels because I got my own funny ones, so that you can keep an eye out for it and manage against that. And when I say, I'm not just talking about label, I'm talking about people, right? People have the behaviors, or maybe people are the vessel that these behaviors are carried in. And I know for a fact that when I limit my exposure to that, I'm a super happy guy.
Yes.
But when I am swimming in that, or more accurately, back in the day when I wasn't intentional or even cognizant of what it was, I was not a happy guy. Like, it was sucking the life out of me. Anyway, so we're going to go there. And Mr. Jim already says, oh, good morning. My feathers are
already.
Ruffles have ridges. And then, let's ruffle some more feather. Kirby says, I got 2 shirts and
whatever.
All right. So before we start ruffling these feathers, Jen,
Yes.
let's do the housekeeping.
Okay, a little bit of housekeeping. So those of you that are out there, and I hope I have some new people today because I had an event this week that I was able to do a webinar for California NAWIC. And so it was really cool. And I had a lot of people there. And I talked all about like, make sure to show up on Saturday morning. So if you're out there and I'm coming across your feed or you kind of tuned in and this is your first time ever seeing Jesse and I on the screen, or you've watched us in the past, but you haven't really engaged in the conversation, that's okay. We ask that you put a blue heart in the comments. Not a heavy lift, but a little blue heart, because it lets us know, one, you're a first-time tribe member, you're a first-time person, showing up in our feed, and we can recognize you and highlight you. But also, it allows our tribe to know that you're new so that they can connect with you and engage with your content and stuff like that. So if you're new, you've never seen us before, or you've been here, but you just kind of want to let us know you're there because we don't know unless you comment, put a blue heart, type blue heart in the comments, put a blue picture. We don't really care, but put that in the comments, and then we can recognize you and welcome you to our tribe.
Yes. The blue heart is like the bat signal so that we know that you're down with the tribe and we can support each other. Oh, look, we got a blue heart. Right. Who is that? Kale.
Hello. Good morning.
All right. So there you go.
But also when you comment, it puts you in the randomizer, and that puts you in a bucket that we draw at the end of the show to have a 1 month free show up and see what it's like to Emotional Bungee Jumpers and Cultivation Crew that Jesse and I lead with an amazing group of people.
Yes, absolutely. And also, like, folks, this got pointed out to me the other day. You can be a part of the Emotional Bungee Jumpers and Cultivation Crew. It's an online community. Like, somebody was like, is that the only way to win is to win the randomizer? Like, no. If you want to sign up and be like, get in the, like a paid member of the community, come on, baby. So just letting you guys know, if you want to know, drop something in the comments because it's freaking awesome. It's transformative. We've got plenty of victims that can speak to that. And so let's go to the comments before we start ruffling feathers, Jen. So we got, you remember this guy?
Oh my gosh, Lance. Yes.
Lance.
Oh. Welcome, Lance. It's not like a blue heart. It's like a blue-green heart. Like, we have missed you.
Yeah. And he's already dropping wisdom, right? You can't have boundaries with other people until you establish them within yourself. Amen. Hard lessons learned. We got the chief marketeer, Steve Martin, says jalapenos in the cornbread. Yes. I'm down. It doesn't matter. As long as there's butter, I'm good, bro. And then Mr. Craig Lair coming in from Panama City Beach. Mr. Craig. All right, Jen. So I think let's just slap some people with reality.
Okay.
Here's the question. So if you don't know what your red flags are, or maybe we'll start there. If you got red flags around people's behavior that you look for and say, I need to avoid, and I'm not talking about dating. We're not talking about significant others and that crap. We're talking about like meaningful investments. Sorry, that wasn't nice. Talking about red flags like in the professional space. Like, what are the behaviors? If you got some already that you know, drop them in the comments so people can look out for them. If you don't, here is the question to be thinking about. Which conversations leave you feeling smaller? And so what does that mean to you, Jennifer Lacey?
Oh, well, it's a little, I think earlier in my career, the smaller made more sense because I was still trying to like, where do I fit? Who am I? What do I do? I think that was easier for me to respond to. I think now I'm a little more confident in the space that I hold. So for me, it's what leaves me frustrated.
Okay.
So the spaces when I'm in a space, I'm having a conversation, I'm in a room, I get invited into a room, I'm on a committee, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what leaves me or what feelings during that make me frustrated, like what gets me frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to me that still, and you and I've talked about this, it still leads to my red flags. It's just a little bit of different feeling depending on where you are in your career and your experiences and things like that. And so to me, that is when I'm in a room or in a conversation with someone and we're doing a lot of talking. There's a lot of a lot of talking, and there's not a lot of action.
Mm.
And there are people that, and it's funny because I've started to like, I know there are people in my life, very intentional people in my life that that are really good at coming up with ideas. There are people really good at getting things done. There are good people that are really good at listening. So there are people that have these superpowers, and there are also people that are not good at those things. And so, or they're really good at one thing, but they don't follow through. So there's all these people, and we're going to talk about a lot of that today, but the people that have ideas and nothing happens past the idea.
Idea fairies.
Yes, idea fairies. Those are the conversations that, again, it has to start there. Again, I work in a collaborative space, like a continuous improvement space. So we have to start with, what about this? How about this? Have you tried? Like, we have to start with that. So please, I'm not trying to diminish those conversations. I'm just one of those, okay, what's the action? What's next? What are we going to do? What are we going to try? And that I've realized is not where most people live, because they're just like, oh, wait a minute. We got to create, what's the agenda? What's our next meeting? And we got to think through this, and is it going to work? And what, all the things. And I'm just like, let's just try something and see. And that is not where a lot of people live.
Yes. Okay. So we're going to get into idea fairies. Before we go there, because I'm with you, it's not like you got to have ideas. You got to have creative energy and flow and all those other things. But for me, there's some very clear distinguishing factors between ideating and an idea fairy, which we'll talk about. But what I heard you say is, like, the question is, folks, for you out there in the Omniverse, which conversations leave you feeling smaller? Mm-hmm. Given where your current state in terms of your career, your self-esteem, self-awareness, all those beautiful things, it's more of a question for you of what leaves you feeling frustrated. Like, in which situations do you have that frustration building? Yes. And the reason that's important, folks, is because that's where the problem is. That's where you want to start looking. It's a signal to say, hey, there's something off here that is getting me off center. And I need to look at it so that I don't continue to put myself in these situations, or so that I can better manage myself in these situations. Either way you want to look at it. How does that make sense?
That's exactly it. And I want to give a little also, and another note is to this question specifically. Earlier in my career, those of you that are maybe, you're still figuring things out. The one thing that I do remember is having conversations, and when I got off the phone or I got done with the meeting, I felt like I just went through an emotional beating. And so if that is what you're feeling, okay, that's not good. And so, like, identify, what made me feel that way, or what, and so to me back then it was like that my voice didn't matter. Yeah. So it made that smaller feeling, or that insignificant feeling, that I walked away with. It didn't matter what I said. Yeah. For me, like today, the thing that gets me feeling some kind of way is when I can't contribute. Right? Like, if it's now, don't get me wrong, I don't have the expectation that everywhere I go, I'm going to be contributing some massive amount of value. But there are situations where it's presented as if it's a collaboration thing, or they're looking for insight and stuff, but they're not. Yep. Right. It's more of okay, we're going to have the community meeting because we have to, but we've already decided what the freaking plan is. And these are the things that we're going to do, which I'm totally fine with. Like, tell me what the hell you want me to do. I will do. Well, I would consider it. Right. But don't
make it seem like it's going to be this collaborative ideation thing where I can contribute. And then you've already made up your mind. Like, just tell me what the hell you want. So today, those are the things. But like you gave an excellent example earlier. I remember early in my career where it was like, ooh, the thing that bugged me was they didn't like the way I said things. Right. And so there was this tone of like, you should know better. And that's not professional language. And and I'm like, so you don't want me here? Like, no, we want you here, but we want you like this. And it's like, so you don't want me here. And so, you know, getting clear about the type of leaders back then, it was really understanding which leaders, like rather discovering that not all leaders function that way. It was just one or two. And so when that one or two wanted to invite me somewhere or into something, I'm like, no, thank you. Because you want me to put makeup on and I don't wear makeup. What do you think about that, Jen?
No, and yes. And the visual for me is, I don't know how many people were getting into the Christmas season, which Jesse knows I love this season. But I don't know how many of you have watched A Christmas Story, you know, and that's one that we grew up watching at school. And it's the one where, you know, the Red Ryder BB gun and all that. And the visual for me is always like when they get all their stuff on to go outside in the snow. And they're like literally they're walking like this, and the scarf is over their face, and they're just like walking outside. Like that's the visual every time. I'm like, if that's how I have to walk into rooms, like all this layers and all this protection and all this have to like wait. Like I'm like, I don't need to be in those rooms.
Yes, and yes. All right, so let's give a shout out. We got Mr. Amir Hussein says hello, coming in from YouTube land. What's up? And then we got Mario Acosta, but it's not coming through the StreamYard currently. But he says, good morning, everyone, coming in from the ATX, Austin, Texas.
Nice.
And so, oh, wait a minute. We got another one. She says she loves Christmas time too. You know, Jen, like I'm starting to fall in love with Christmas because I know Valentine's Day is just weeks away.
I was waiting for it. I was like, I'm waiting for the pink Grinch suit. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, that would be something with like fishnet hose or something. Yeah, fishnet leggings.
So again, going back to the question, I know we haven't got a lot of people adding, but which conversations, and there's no wrong answer here, which conversations leave you feeling smaller, less than? Because we have to start somewhere. We have to start with, okay, what, and Jesse, I want to challenge you, because you and I have had this conversation, is the things that frustrate you, the things that make you like go, or like you said, I want to contribute. If I can't contribute, then, you know, is there value in me being here? Like you said this at the beginning of the show, like a lot of the things that now, as we've grown and developed a little bit, frustrate us and make us feel less than, are very close to things that we did.
Yes.
In spaces that we navigated through it, figured it out. Right now, some of you are in spaces right now that you could start looking at what frustrates me, and do I go into spaces and do that?
Yes. So
thoughts on that?
100%. Like I'll start with Idea Fairy, since we already like opened the can on Idea Fairies, right? After we talk about the pink drink and fishnet.
I love you, Kirby Coat.
She says it sounds like an Idea Fairy. Let's see the action. Woo-hoo! I love it. Okay, so we talked about Idea Fairies. I mean, we opened the door on Idea Fairies, and I think the deal is this: it's not about having ideas. For me, an Idea Fairy is somebody that comes and sprinkles their little ideas with the expectation that everybody else is going to bring it to life. Or more accurately, that they are going to invest zero sweat equity into making that thing a reality. For me, that's an Idea Fairy. Now, some people might be thinking, well, that's what CEOs and executives do. Sure, And they also allocate resources to when they allocate resources to make it happen, that kind of gets them out of the idea fairy thing. But just the same, and this is like it transcends roles and seniority. But idea fairies, they have an idea and they get frustrated and sad and irritated because nobody listens to me. I told them what the problem was. I told them how we could fix it, and they just don't want to improve. Like, okay, and what did you do to bring it to life?
Yes.
Well, what do you mean? Like, so you're an idea fairy. So that behavior that I now label as idea fairies, I limit my exposure to people that have that behavior. Period. Like I see it and I'm looking for it, right? Like I'm vigilant about that's a good idea. Oh, that's another idea. Oh, there's 5 ideas in a row, but no conversation or thought into like operationalizing, just dumping. Like, ooh, well, okay, so what do you recommend we do to make that happen? Well, I don't know. Idea fairy, right? Like I'm vigilant about identifying it. Anyways, when I started paying attention to it, and like, of course, I was judging, right? I was being real judgy about the people that had that behavior. Then I had to look at it and say, oh, I do that shit too. Right? And so my point in that, and I don't know, this may not be the case for everybody, Jen, but the fact that I was able to recognize that behavior in myself made it clearer, and even gives me a little empathy for people to understand where you're at. Maybe you've never brought an idea to life, and so you think like this is appropriate, or maybe every group that you've ever been in, this kind of behavior is acceptable. We've talked about that, right? Where there's a lot of stuff out there in the professional space, committees, and like all kinds of shit. Everybody wants to build a committee for everything. And they bring ideators, idea fairies, and nothing happens. And so there is a bit of conditioning that happens. I think that like if we're in organizations or teams that aren't about execution, like they don't know how to do the damn thing, it can create a situation where I think it's appropriate. But in the game I'm playing, girl, I ain't got no time for that. And so main point is those behaviors that frustrate you and irritate you, my recommendation is look inward to see how often or how much of that behavior do you have. Not to judge yourself and make you perfect, right? Because you're not going to be as perfect as me. That's hard. But so that you can get a frame around it and have a real clear understanding so it's super, super obvious when it comes up in the future. Is that helpful, Jen?
Yes, it does. And I want to add that we have a lot of very high-performing people that come and tune into our conversations.
Yes.
And they are in positions where they're probably in rooms where maybe they have some of that authority to be able to give, support and things like that. And I had a conversation this week because I was frustrated with something, and I was voicing it to like that. Hey, we're just talking. We're just talking. We're not getting stuff done. And the person that I was talking to said, "Well, Jennifer, are there clear roles and responsibilities of the expectations?" And for me, that falls not just on the people in the room that, well, why do you just have ideas but you have no action? Why yes, we can call them on that. And we can say you're just an idea fairy. Are there clear roles and responsibilities and expectations of the people that are in that space? And that falls on us. Like, I feel like sometimes that falls on us. Now, again, if they show up and they don't, and they're unsure, and then we can call them out and go, oh, you just do this. Like, some of that is a little bit of self-reflection on, okay, because of, is it mine? Am I in a space to where I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting agitated, like Sam said, at things, but are the people that got invited in clear on why they're there?
Oh, there's a lot to go there, to dive into there. Now, I want to like articulate the way I attempt to get clear about what the expectations are, and you tell me how clear that is.
Okay.
So when I'm kind of like organizing or leading a group, I'll be like like a committee. I want to be like a formal committee. and we're planning an event and da 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 da, I am super clear. Like, okay, we're going to have this meeting because here's the framework. Here's the thing we're going to do. We want idea. If you got any ideas, right now is the time to bring them.
Yes.
And know that whatever idea you bring to the table, it is yours to bring to life and carry across the finish line. And and on the calendar, the timeline of the thing, at this point, it's just as an example, 60 days before the event, keep your ideas to your damn self, or just don't get your feelings hurt, because we got to make stuff happen. We don't have time for ideas unless they're solving a problem. If they're bringing in something new, we don't want to hear it. What do you think? Is that clear? Is that
no?
reasonable?
It's clear, and I love that you clarified that, because Jesse, you and I, we talk a lot. Mm-hmm. And when we talk, I'm just going to tell y'all, like, ideas are plentiful when we are talking. Like, it's this, and what about this? And I'm thinking about this, and we're going back and forth. So we're not knocking or saying that you don't have space where you're just throwing everything on the wall. And we both have been in spaces where that's very valuable. So we're not knocking that. We're trying to be intentional on, like, identify that's what we're doing. Is bring the ideas. We, like, right now, like Jesse said, bring the ideas that you kind of know how we can make this happen, but bring the ideas. And then once we start moving and we're taking action, which is that's one all in itself is the idea to action. But once we start taking action and we're moving, if all that you're still contributing is, oh, but what about this? Oh, have you thought about this? Oh, well, I know we're doing this, but like that's still ideating at the point where we're not ideating anymore.
Right.
And a lot of the space we live in, a lot of the PDCA is, and Jesse and I do this a lot, is right now it's let's start something, let's do something. It could fail. It could be so horrible, not what we needed. But unless we start doing something, we don't know that. And all the talking and hypotheticals and all the what ifs, that happens in rooms where there's just idea fairies that nothing ever comes to fruition. And so, like, do something, and then let's see it through, and then we stop and we evaluate. Did it work? Did it not work? Are we just floundering right now? And if we are, okay, we stop and we reassess and we start looking at things like there's a very simple structure that still allows there to be progress, because learning and retrospectives and next steps and continuous improvement are progress. Yes. But sometimes we forget, like, it doesn't need to be perfect and we don't need to have everything figured out. We've got to be taking steps in some direction.
Yes. Action. Yes. So Steve Martin says, easy red flag warning to catch when facilitating during ideation. And I think this is a gangster, like, OG tip here. People who use he, she, or they rather than I or.
Ooh, that's so good.
Oh, like we hide behind it, right? Like, well, if he said, like, who? Well,
who is they? Who is they? That should be one of your huge facilitation questions. And Adam's done that too with us. It's like, who is they? Who is they?
Yes.
And make them have to define that, because sometimes there's not anybody back there.
Yeah, and like for me, they are the voices between my ears. That's who they is. It's just me telling myself that. Now, Samantha asks, but what if I'm a productive procrastinator and my best ideas come at the 11th hour? So I'm going to answer that two ways. Like, if you're on my committee, I'm going to hurt your feelings. The other way I'll answer that is when your ideas come at the 11th hour and you've taken steps to materialize it, like, I can't turn that down.
Right.
But if it's at the 11th hour and you're expecting everybody to adjust to it, negatory. Now, like Jen said, when we're just brainstorming and talking, like, I'm cool with it. It's very easy for me to, like, turn the switch on and off in terms of how to manage idea fairies as a red flag. Like, I mean, I'll just say it again, just in case it ain't clear. Idea fairies are a red flag for me. They take a lot of energy from me because, especially when I'm in a group with a bunch of them, I want to be respectful and not poo-poo on them, especially if that's the culture of the group. Mm-hmm. And so I have to be quiet. that takes massive amounts of energy from me, right? So then it's a question of, hey, do I want to be a part of this group of idea fairies because it's going to wear me out? Or am I prepared to surface the issue and take action to mitigate it or correct it? Now, Mario Acosta says, I hear you both about wearing makeup and layers. I relate to that so much. My thing is that I say it how it is, and most times, most leaders do not like that, cannot handle the raw truth. I agree. And I also have been complimented on how well I can deliver stinky truth and make it palatable. So there's maybe on that note, there was a period in time where I justified my abrasive approach to communicating by saying, well, that's just the way I am. I'm just being honest. And it took me a long time to come to terms with the fact, like, it doesn't matter what the hell I say if it isn't causing any impact. And so if the way I deliver it is obnoxious and abrasive and hurts people's feelings, maybe I should change that. Now, if I've changed it and I'm still hurting people's feelers, which is probably a red flag, then I need to change my environment. I need to get the hell out of there. If they cannot take factual issues and understand that it's not a judgment against them or their character, but a matter of performance, if they can't accept that, I do not need to play with them. My ass is gone. What do you think, Jen?
Yes. I want to go back to Samantha's comment. So, and Samantha, I have so much love for you, but I'm going to push a little bit on this productive procrastinator comments, because human nature is we like shiny things and we love squirrel. Like that's the world we live in. That is normal for most people. There are people like Samantha that I have no doubt that she has proven that she is a productive procrastinator. But when you have a productive procrastinator in a room full of people that have not proven that and that are not those people, they will get distracted by that 11th hour idea. And the distraction will then stop progress and even hurt whatever we're trying to do. So I acknowledge that she is probably one of those people. I either have to work with those people one-on-one. So I know I got this, I see where we are, but in a group, I am very hesitant to encourage that behavior because other people use it as a reason to not make progress. Oh, we should look into that. Oh, I didn't think about that. Hey, we should talk. We should work on this. And next time we get together, we can see it's an easy cop out for people that are not willing to take action.
I call those dust kickers. They kick the dirt around and create a bunch of dust to distract people from the fact that they ain't getting their shit done.
Right. So again, one-on-one, like Samantha, you and I'm sure we can make some stuff happen. But if you're in a room full of dust kickers, you saying something at the 11th hour, or hey, what about this? Girl, they are all about, yeah, let's try that. And what about that? And maybe next time we get together, and when I hear that, I don't care what meeting it is. When the response out of someone's mouth, well, maybe when the next time we get together, I'm like we're already pushing any action, any responsibility, any accountability to somebody else, some other time, not right now. Like that, those are not spaces I like to be in.
Oh, I love it. All right. So we got some more. And Speaking of Samantha, she gave us a nice red flag here. She says, I don't think these leave me smaller, but they leave agitated. When there's a talker dominating a conversation. Now, one-on-one, if they are a talker, all good, I'm listening. But talkers in groups frustrate me because it's an obvious sign of a lack of self-awareness. You ever been around that, Jen?
So yes, and those have been spaces. Well, one, early in my career, I felt when I needed to voice my value, and because like we talked about, when we can self-identify things that now frustrate us, it's because probably at some point that was us. And so I know early in my career, I needed to voice my value. And to do that, I was in rooms where I needed to prove to the people in the room I deserved to be there. And now I can see that. I can identify that. I can see people that I need to show my worth. I need to show my credibility. Like people will do that in spaces. And so one, it helps me not just go, you're stupid, because I can understand that right now there's something lacking. There's something there that they feel they're trying to prove. And so then it becomes me in a space, if I'm trying to help facilitate that, what questions can I ask? How can I engage to where then it lets them answer, and then we can move on to somebody else. So the facilitation piece of those conversations is how I think my development has been, one, self-identify, and then two, be able to go, I see you, and now I'm going to take this and I'm going to give it to someone else so they can then understand the value of listening to other people.
Yeah. For me, those talkers that Samantha's referring to, those are air hogs. Like that's my label. So guys, y'all, I'm just so generous and empathetic about the way I label these things. But for me, you're an air hog. She says, I think she used the word awareness in here, right? Yeah. Lack of self, like in some cases, actually, I'll say it this way. There is executive coaches out there that teach to have command, take command of the room and be the loudest voice and say the most word. Like that is the formula that they're teaching. Mm-hmm. And so I share that because some people are taught and they think like they've decided that that's the way they're going to function. Some people, like I give you points if you're doing it on freaking purpose. But there's some people that aren't even aware that they're eating. Like I call them air hogs because they're hogging up all of the airtime, saying the same thing 10 freaking different ways. Or the minute somebody says something, they got a 5-minute dissertation to say, I agree. Like those are air hogs. And I'm with you, Samantha, that really, now, again, one-on-one, we could talk. Y'all already know I talk. And if you're an air hog, if you recognize that behavior in yourself, because I recognize it in me, start a freaking podcast, man, and talk your ass off, right? Like stop hogging everybody else's airtime. And when I say airtime, I'm simply saying this, like, or maybe something you can do if you're an air hog or you know an air hog. Time, like count the minutes and seconds of how much mouth noise is coming from you and how much mouth noise is coming from the other person. Mm-hmm. Like the target is for the other person to have more airtime, especially one-on-one. But when you're like in meetings and you have that person that just, it's like, okay, I was in a meeting. It was a study action team, group of professionals. And there wasn't a lot of dialogue. And this was even better. I was new to the company. Like I was there a month, right? Maybe 2 months. And I'm on this call and we're discussing takeaways, and then we do plus deltas right at the end. And my delta was like, there wasn't a lot of dialogue. And the person with the most authority says, you're right, Jesse, I agree. Do you think it's because we were not all in the same room? So he was trying to leverage that so I could say, yes, we all got to be in the room together. And I didn't even think about it. I was like, no, it's because you talked the whole time. And then everybody in the room was like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said it. We were all thinking, like, oh crap, I'm going to get some attention for that. But my point there, like he wasn't aware of that was happening. And we talked to, he's like, hey man, he's like, that stung, but thanks for pointing it out. Like, well, I wish I intended to, but I just answered the question. And so we started, he's like, man, I don't want to do that. I want to hear the rest of the group. I think that would be fantastic. What should I do? I was like, man, just pay attention to how much time other people are talking. Like, even if it's quiet, just let it be quiet because they're happy to let you do it. And then they're going to complain because you're doing it. So in his case, I give him some flexibility, but yeah, air hogs drive me nuts. Like okay, here we go. He's going to go preach. Unless it's me, then it's okay. Right, Jen?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So right. I have a point, I have a cheat code, and I'm going to ask you to share a story.
Come on.
Really quick. So number one is the awareness, and I want to call, because a lot of people here are not the ones sitting. They're a lot of times the one leading the room, like you were on that call. So the awareness, not just of, ooh, that's an air hog, the awareness of the people not talking.
Oh yeah.
So are you not just aware, let's red flag, but also are you aware, are you paying attention to the people that probably have contribution, have things that, and they're not speaking, or they're waiting? Are you being aware of that? Because to me, yes, we're talking about the people that suck the life out of the room. We're also trying to identify the people we want to be around and the people that bring value to the spaces that we're in. And so to me, the cheat code, and I know this from experience, the cheat code is if you're invited into a room and you're like, oh yeah, I'm here because they want to know what I have to say, go to the meeting and don't say anything. Because two things are going to happen. One is you get done and you're in the room and you leave and you got to observe all this wonderful thing and you were just there. The other one, which happened to me, which made me go, okay, maybe I need to be in this room, is at the end, Jennifer, what do you think? So I didn't have to go, I got something to say. Ooh, let me share my value. I got asked because I didn't say anything. I want to know what you have to say. And when we're facilitators, which you and I are a lot, we're in positions to do that. We're in positions to hear the people that are air hogs, but also, hey, Josh, what do you have to say? What is your experience with this? To then engage other people that we know are some rock stars and have some solid stuff. Like we're in positions to do that. So a cheat code is number one, if you're the one sitting, just go in and sit and listen and see what happens. And if you're facilitating, it is your responsibility also to help facilitate that room and not let those things take over. So that those are just things I want people to think about. I want to also, Jesse, and I know we've told this story, but I think it's important, is you and I were about to hit complete. Oh my God. We've been doing this for so long, but even prior to that, we got together, we did live streams, you wrote a book, and then we launched NoBS, and we're about to hit like our 4-year mark or something. It's just crazy. But like our paths crossed, but it wasn't an intentional, we got a plan and we're going to do this together. You reached out. So that was kind of like part of like that facilitation of bringing those people in that you've observed something different. Can you just really quick, like what made you, or how, that process of you going, hey, Jennifer, maybe we should do something together.
Yeah. I'll like tighten it up to like the when I knew like, okay, I had the idea, I was kind of watching, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to pull the trigger. We were on a live stream. And it was a live stream with a bunch, it was, I don't know, a dozen people, very influential, very accomplished peers of ours. Mm-hmm. And there was something that I used to do but it was one of those red flags, right? They're wrestlers. They need to have the spotlight, right? They need the airtime. And so I'm watching, because that's what I do. I like to watch everybody, and they're over talking each other. They're wrestling to get the last word in and make a point and polish up the point and say it again and restate their, like, it was all this freaking, I'm like, oh God, like, we see it everywhere, guys. Like, that's the point. Red flag behavior. So I'm watching them, and you didn't do that. And that's when I said, I'm going to call her with this idea I have about the 5S love letters, because that's like, I mean, folks out there in the Omniverse, if you're new, or if you've been here, like OG, Jim's been here since freaking day one. I knew that I wasn't going to have to compete for attention with you. And not because I love attention. Shit, I got a podcast. I can cultivate my own attention. But it provides a better experience for everybody else, for like the viewers and people who are listening and watching. If we're not like we can dance, we're not wrestling.
Yes.
And what I saw on that live stream is a bunch of people wrestling, and they were all people that like were kind of on my list. Like, maybe I'd do this with them. And I'm like, ooh, we'll be wrestling all the time. We'll be like, I don't need that energy. That's exhausting for me. You held your composure. You contributed when it was something that was really, really important to you or to the conversation. And then you were just happy to sit back and not pissy about it, right? Like, it wasn't just that you were good at being quiet. you were also not pissy about it. It's just like, okay, this is how people behave. And I was like, ooh, I can roll with that. Let me call her and see how that goes. So is that the story you're looking for?
Yeah, it is. And it was just, and even then, Jesse, as much as you watch that, we still had to dance and figure out some things, even as we were starting to do things ourselves, as we were getting acclimated to each other. But the signal for you, like as much as the red flags were there, I don't want to just focus on red flags because, again, our lives are amazing. We have a lot of amazing things happening because we identify and know the red flags, but also the green flags, and also the ones that like are, I need to lean into that, or I need to reach out. I see that person there, like make the phone call, make the connection, because you're like, oh, that could be, I mean, this was you just like, let me call her. Like and we say this on like our first conversation where Jesse's like, hey, can we get on a phone call 3 hours? Like the first time we ever like had conversation together. And like, you could have just not done that. You could have just gone, oh, that's a cool person and I want to connect with them. And maybe, you know, I'm just going to follow her content, which you were, which was amazing. Jesse, if you didn't reach out, like what would the last 4 years look like? What would the last 5 years look like for us and what we've been able to do? Because you were like, oh, that I want to lean into that.
Yeah. And I take my approach to like figuring out what the hell I want and need is by first identifying what I don't want and what I don't need, right? And so, and I'm sharing that with the tribe because there's two ways. It depends on how you think and function, right? Like for me, when I'm talking to people, they want coach, like, man, I'm not sure what I want to do. It's like, okay, what do you hate doing? Like, well, why aren't we talking about what I want to do? Like, you don't know what you want to do. So let's start with what you hate. So don't do that shit, right? Like, let's get clear about what you don't like. And then you'll start having a list of things that you think you like. Okay, go do them and find out whether you like them or not. And then you're going to find one that you love and then do that, right? Like it's process of elimination. Whereas other approaches are like, let's set a strategy and a target and an aspirational idea. And that's good. That's not the way I function personally. I need to know what are the freaking problems? What do I not want in my space? And I love it. Steve Martin, I'm going to steal this one. Sales and finance. #pod hogs, sucking the life from teams, one great idea at a time. I like that. Pod hogs, like especially like in a group conversation where they're just pod hogs. I'm stealing that one. Thank you, Steve. So I want to make sure I don't ignore our new blue heart for the day. Kale Hellman says,
yes,
I don't, big one, right? I don't often feel small, but the thing that really frustrates me or makes a particular environment feel hopeless, oh, I love that, is a lack of intentionally being real with each other. I don't mean to aggressively speak whatever is on your mind in whatever way you want, in whatever tone you want, but rather in a intentional effort to allow others to see who we really are, to speak about realities in business and life and how those realities actually affect each other. Do you have a label for like, I got a couple labels.
I want to say you're in the right spot. I'm just going to tell you, number one, I want to acknowledge that you are in the right space saying that exact comment, because we have identified those that are water skiers and that like to stay on the surface and that don't want to get too vulnerable and too emotional and too personal. And they just kind of like to skim the surface, show up, but they're not willing to go deep. They're not willing to take a deep dive into some of these conversations. So we love people that just kind of show up, but we also know that the reason we are still here, Josie, I don't even know how, we are still here almost 4 full years later, is because that is not the space we play in.
Yes. So that was awesome. Now, what my label for that, I kind of bounce back and forth between two labels. One is I call them pretenders. Mm-hmm. The other is posers, right? Now, posers kind of gives away how old I am. But it's like, man, you're trying so damn hard to be polite. And I know you hate me. Like, it's okay to hate me. You've done this game with me, right? No, yes, but, yes, and, like, yes, and, like, come on. Like, if it's a freaking no, just say no.
Yes.
If you think it's stupid, say it's a stupid idea, right? Like, I am now mature enough or resilient enough to understand that the critique is about the idea or the thought, not as a human being, right? No. Now, do I feel it in the moment? Like, yeah, motherfucker, what are you saying? But like, I don't like, oh, they don't mean it that way. And if they do, they need to say that, right? Like, say it to my face, fool. Mm-hmm. But for me, that type of behavior is like, and you know, now in the work that I do, coaching teams and stuff, I am very, again, vigilant about identifying it so that I can talk with the decision makers and say, hey, man, this thing over here, you got a bunch of pretenders and you got a bunch of bobbleheads. Pretenders, people are trying to be overly polite and gracious and PC, so much so that nobody is saying a damn thing. Like there is no meaning in that meeting, that conversation. It's unclear about what the hell's going on. The other bobbleheads are this is like
on your big room rules, like no bobbleheads. Like talk about that, Jesse.
So I only have one big room rule, and it is no bobbleheads. Mm-hmm. So bobbleheads, right? You see the bobbleheads you put on the dashboard, right? So for me, bobbleheads are them fools that are in a meeting, in a group conversation, whatever, and they nod, and then at the break or after the meeting, they go hide in a corner and piss and moan about how stupid it is, and I can't believe like for me, that gets you on the dead to me list like that. Like, I ain't playing that shit. Like, if you think it's stupid, say it in the room with the people that can affect that. Nodding your head. And then going and pissing and moaning about how unfair or how dumb or how thoughtless or whatever, that's just chicken shit. So bobbleheads, negative. I don't play with them. I keep them away and I will point them out. Pretenders is a little bit different, right? Pretenders are trying, and I've been like, now again, how do I know? Because I've been that guy. I have done that stuff. And so pretenders, they're just, when I was pretending, it was because in my head, there was this, I came from the field, right? I was an installer. And so in my head, there was this way you behave, proper people behave in meetings. So I'm trying to be that. And it was uncomfortable. It was not fun. It drove me nuts. And so eventually I'm like, okay, let's just have some real talk. Like our friend said earlier, just be real. And if they can't tolerate my respectful, then guess what? I don't need to be a part of that group. Sorry, the bobbleheads got me excited, Jen.
Well, no, what I want to, I guess, also say is like, it's not like rebel or real. Like you don't have to go in and just be the Tasmanian devil, or you could be Mr. Polite. There's rooms, and again, I work for a company, so I'm very aware of rooms that I can still be respectful. I can still be aware of what's going on and still voice my opinion and share what I think. Like, we understand that we're not just trying to say be Jesse in every room. We're trying to say, like, we understand all of you work for companies. That does not mean it should limit your ability to influence, to impact, and to share the things that are a little vulnerable, a little personal, also creating connection and things like that. Like, that's all we talk about is walking that line sometimes. And we understand you have to, but we've realized the more people that lean into that vulnerability and that I'm willing to say some of these things, and you and I have had this conversation specifically, Jesse, that I know may keep me out of that room the next time. Mm-hmm. I know that by me saying this, they may go, we may not want Jennifer in this room again because of, and you know what? I have to be in a place where I'm like, and that's okay. But I felt good, or I felt confident in what I was doing because there was purpose behind it.
Amen. And I'm going to double down. I'm going to say it again a different way.
Say it.
Like, for real, you're going to lose some opportunities. You're going to lose them.
Yes.
And I am okay. Like, for me and Jesse Land, if the way I function with all my labels and red flags and shit keep me out of certain opportunities, that's okay. Like I have to be okay with that. I am making a decision that will impact where I get invited to, who I get to play with, and I am okay with that. Because here's why, just in case you're wondering, when I tried to behave in a way that will get me invited to everything, guess what? It
wasn't
sucked.
better.
It wasn't better. It was not better. I was invited to crap that was just flim-flammy, waste of time, people that drove me up the damn wall, like all of the things. And so, okay, I don't get invited to a bunch of stuff. But you know what? When I do, man, it's freaking awesome. It is awesome. All right. So, man,
comments. I know you. We've been and I just want to say we come into this live stream always with like 4 to 5. Let's get the audience engaged questions. I'm just going to be clear. We've hit 1, and it is 8:55.
Exactly. I was just you read my mind. I'm like, damn girl, we haven't even done the second question. So I'll give everybody a heads up. We're going to be doing the randomizer here in 5 minutes. And so if you've been lurking, you can transition from lurker status to water skier status, like Jim, if you just drop some emojis in the comments, because that will get your name in the randomizer. We'll run the randomizer raffle. If your name gets selected, you will get invited. You'll get 1 month free access to Emotional Bungee Jumpers and the Cultivation Crew. And I'm gonna call you out, Mr. Jim. Like, you and I have had some serious conversations. You absolutely are not a water skier, but maybe you're referring to your interaction in the comments. So I'll give you a pass there. But you ain't scared to have some real talk, man. I know that for sure. Mario, he says, okay, that's what I was referring to when I said I say it how it is. Seems like tend to be the one that addresses the elephant in the room. Unfortunately, because of the other media members are afraid to do so. Yeah, man. And I get that. Like, I've been there most of my career, and it's gotten me in trouble. It limited my career for like 6 years. I was at a spot and I was straight up told, Jesse, if you want to advance here, you need to play ball. And that you doing and pointing out the things that you do is what's keeping you at that role. And I'm like, okay, well, then I got a paycheck. I'm not going to play the game y'all want me to play. And so my point in that is, like, sometimes you're in a situation and you're going to have to decide, do I want that thing or not? And it ain't easy. So thank you, Mr. Mario, for that. Somebody's stirring the pot. Samantha says, y'all got awesome metaphor labels for everything. I would never think about calling someone a water skier. You know, water skiers, thank you, Samantha. And yes, water skiers are not people that are on the dead to me list. They almost never make it on the dead to me list, but I manage the amount of time I spend with them. And so, again, real quick review on water skiers, they'll never have a deep conversation. They will stay on the top. I can ask, like, because I really want to understand more deeply about what, and they just won't give any.
They kind of bob and weave. They kind of like, yes.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, like, you're all right. Like, we'll go to the same place, but I'm not going to invest a lot because you're not prepared to go deep. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, like, we'll hang out. But you're not on my crew. You're not on the A team, right? You're not on the starting lineup. We got to give Miss Sarah some love. She says, preparing for a 15-year-old birthday party. Send me good thoughts as I prepare for 9 of them.
Lots of love coming your way.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, sister. Hope you have fun out there. All right, Jen. So we only asked one question.
Okay.
And I feel like what I want to put in front of people to chew on,
okay,
is which red flag do you tolerate? Because we've talked about a bunch of them, right? We talked about bobbleheads, water skiers, idea fairies, air hogs, and on and on and on. So which red flag do you tolerate and why do you put up with it? I want people to think, because we're about to do the randomizer. And I'm going to open up another loop here. So drop it in the comments, folks. Let me know, which red flag do you tolerate and why do you put up with it? And like, just be real. Like, it's okay. And if you want to pass because you don't want to feel, you don't want to call other people out, which red flag do you wave and like just became aware of it, right? That might be I'll give you a pass if you answer that question too. Am I being too soft on them, Jen?
You're not, because I think you and I have already identified the awareness piece is the first thing. Because we could like be calling out red flags, red flag, red flag, red flag. And if we're not at any point self-assessing, then even identifying a red flag and taking action to address that red flag, if you're doing it, you're not, no credibility, nothing. Like, it doesn't matter if I am trying to do something to help a red flag, if I do it. So to me, self-awareness is the number one. You have to start with self-awareness, but you sometimes don't realize you're doing it until you start identifying. So like, oh, I see that. Oh, I need to think about that. So no, that's not a pass. I think it's the first step sometimes in understanding what it is, so that then you can like go, oh, I do that. I do that too.
Yes. And it's okay. Like, no, John, we've all of these things that I label, I still do them. Just not like I really, really looking for them. And when I do them, it's like, okay, why did I do that? I need to, except for the bobblehead bullshit. Like, I'm going to piss and moan after I let you know that I think it's stupid, right? Like, I'm not just going to piss and moan. You're going to know about it. And then I'll gossip about it. We didn't even talk about this one.
I know.
Lance, solutionizers. I can get a nugget if I filter out the bullshit. So we're going to do the randomizer, guys, and then we're going to come back and talk about solutionizers. Lance, thank you for the reminder. Damn. Mario says the water skier tolerates the water skiers. There's like, they don't do damage. Water skiers, I don't think they do damage, but they exhaust my energy.
Yes.
And so why would I expand my energy on mediocre interactions when I can save it to have badass, meaningful interactions? That's how I think about managing the water skiers. Oh my God, there's more questions.
No, and Samantha's comment is like solid based on what you just said.
Is there a label for water skier advice? I have found there are people who have basic surface level advice for some things, but they think it's profound. Ooh, I tolerate it at times because they just aren't ready for the real advice yet. Does that make sense? I think it does. What I'm getting from this, Samantha, is there a label for like giving soft advice, or maybe this is a question. Are you talking about giving like soft cushioned up advice or getting like weak sauce advice? What did you get from that, Jen?
That to me, it was the weak sauce advice, because they're not direct. One, they don't know how to give feedback. One, they're worried about hurting feelings. Like that to me, and you and I have some great examples of just like how to ease into that, but that's personal. Like that's how we can help each other. When you are with somebody that's like, oh, this, da-da-da-da-da, and you're like, I mean, okay. I think the only response to those people is thank you. Like that's to me the only thing you can say in those situations if you're not trying to help them grow. So if it's a coaching opportunity, like that's different. But if it's someone that just kind of comes in and drops some things and then leaves, like thank you, I appreciate that. And that's to me how I respond to those.
Yeah. Well, I'll respond when we get into the solutionizers and solution sharing, because I think it's maybe like the baby cousin of that type of behavior.
Ooh, we got somebody that just did a comment right before the solutionizers, and I haven't seen right before the randomizer. So good job, Luke.
Mr. Luke coming in. He says water skier is the easiest to work. I agree. Like it's not bad. You can deal with it. Thank you, bro, and you came in just in time because we're fixing to do the randomizer. So let me press present here. Man, I can't believe well, I guess I can believe we didn't even get through question number 2. All right, here we go, folks. Reminder, if your name gets selected, you're going to get free entry into Emotional Bungee Jumpers and Cultivation Crew for a month. Here we go. Oh, look at all those smiling faces on there. Oh, Jennifer.
Okay, you have to push it again. You have to do another draw. Can you do a draw again?
Yes. And that is proof, y'all, of how much Jennifer bullies me, because she made me rig it to get her as the winner. No, I'm joking. I can't rig it. Here we go. One more time. Come on. Who is it? Oh, Amir. All right. He popped in at the very beginning. Mr. Amir, I will chase you down. You came in through the YouTube. If you have a LinkedIn, like for real, if you have a LinkedIn account, hit us up or hit me up in the DMs or something, because it'll be easier for me to connect with you. But if not, I'll hunt you down as best I can on YouTube. So congratulations there. And folks, everybody else, thank you for contributing to the conversation. All right, where are we?
Solutionizers and answering the question.
Answering the question. Which question am I answering? Oh, Samantha.
Which one do you tolerate?
Yeah. Oh, which one do I tolerate? Well, I got a different kind of answer for that. So first, I want to go back to Samantha's question, right? Is there a label for water skier advice? I'm going to, on the weak sauce type of advice, like the people that come and give me weak advice or water skier advice, I'm going to say that's the baby cousin of the solutionizer, right? It's like mini solutionizer, solution shanking behavior. And so, folks, if you don't know what a solutionizer is, because our brother Lance brought it up earlier, solutionizing is people's tendency or the behavior to always be giving answers, advice. Just play this out. You're on a conversation, you just random phone call with somebody. Hey, how's it going? What are you working on? And you say, I'm working on this thing and it's kind of being a pain in the ass. Oh, well, you should read this book and you should listen to this YouTube channel and you should subscribe to bro, I didn't ask for help. That's solutionizing. Or when you have a team, you're managing a team and people have problems and you give them the answer all the time. Or maybe they don't even have a problem. They're just doing it a different way than you do. And you're like, what are you doing? That's wrong. That doesn't make sense. You should do solutionizing. That is solution shanking behavior. And so back to Samantha's question, right? Like when I'm getting weak sauce advice, I'd see that as micro solutionizing, right? Like they're trying to help, oh, poor, what's the word? Bless your heart, right? I didn't freaking ask you. And like you said earlier, just say thank you. Be gracious. Thanks for that. And I ain't going to do nothing with it. Now, in terms of giving people weak sauce advice, I think you nailed it, Jen. The question that I always run through my head is I can soften this up so that Jen's not going to be mad or offended by me, or not just you, Jen, anybody. And so I'm going to maintain favor, but will I help them? Or I could tell them, point directly at the booger on their face, and they may not like me the same way they did before, but I will help them. Which one am I picking? I'm going to pick to help, right? And I'll say it, in the appropriate tone, as gingerly as possible, but for real, it's a practice. It takes a lot of practice and effort to get there.
Well, I want to, Jesse's not giving you his cheat code, but I'm going to tell you what his cheat code is with me, because it is next level, and it doesn't soften it up, but to get people to give you permission, do what Jesse does. I got some stinky advice. Do you want to hear it? That is how Jesse, it's whatever you want to call it, soften it up. He says that to me beforehand. So number one, I can go, I don't want my feelings hurt. I don't want to hear this. And then Jesse says, no problem. But then I'm missing out on what the heck he has to say. So by him saying, I got some stinky advice, I got some advice you may not like, do you want to hear it? I have now given him permission to tell me straight up, direct, maybe I may not like it. And like, I'm telling you, it's like gangster level. Like when someone does that, like, then you get to decide. I can go, well, I'm not ready for all that directness. You can make that decision, or they can make that decision. But you kind of gotten permission to do it.
Yeah, no, it's that there's a couple ways I do that, right? It's like, can I share an observation?
Yep.
Or I've got something for you. It's going to stink a little bit. Do you want to hear it? Because I want to get permission, right? I want to make sure that you're prepared to, and maybe you don't, right? Like there's been times like, no, I'm good. Like, okay, cool. So that it has impact. Otherwise I'm just wasting my freaking breath. And I may be way off base. Like that's one of the things that drives me nuts with the solutionizers and the weak sauce advisors is they don't even verify that I want help. And then they're going to go pat themselves on the back and beat their shoulders of like, oh, I was coaching Jesse and I gave him a recommendation. I don't know why you didn't do it. Well, jackass, I never asked for it. And you did nothing to verify or vet whether I was interested or ready to receive it. Maybe I did need it. But you did a weak ass job on vetting, cultivating, tilling the ground so that I could receive this awesome, beautiful, wonderful crap that you just dropped on my plate. Can you tell that I feel some kind of way about it, Jen?
Yes, but I think that's a whole nother metaphor is the dropping of
oh yeah,
seagulls. I think
the seagulls. Yeah, the hot bag of poo droppers. 100%. All right, folks, I just dropped the link to the after party and all the things. So if you want to continue,
what is the after party for those that have never been there?
So the after party, you don't have to have a video on or the camera on. It's just a conversation so we can hear directly from you what you got out of the conversation. What should we talk about? And like for real, the after party, the conversation and like the spirit of that conversation is what informs the topic of the next live stream. So if you want to contribute to that, please. And more importantly, it's just another way for us to continue supporting each other and contributing to each other's growth. Once we stop blabbing our mouth up here, we'll need like a little 5-minute break and then we'll go to the after party. The link's in the comments. Hit the link, be there so we can talk and share and catch up. And again, cornbread with or without jalapenos and desserts. I have a service, a removal service for Thanksgiving that I can help you with, and I'll give you more details.
You can market that, Jesse. You can market that. Like if you need somebody to come in and do some demo, I got you.
Yes. Oh, I gotta make an ad for that shit. Hell yeah. All right, Jen. So you got closing. We got 2 minutes.
Yes.
Closing thought for the group.
My closing thought is actually answering the question.
Okay.
The red flag question on like, what do I tolerate? And so I just want to disclaimer. I'm going to say, Jesse, I feel like you're in the same boat, but I'm going to let you say, like, I don't have everything figured out. And I know that there's some things my boundaries are very strong and I'm still learning how to maneuver those and who I want in my space and who I need to also maybe limit time with. And so I'm saying a lot of things up here, and yes, I believe in those things 100%, but I also know people don't function the way I function. So the red flag for me that I tolerate to a point is those people that are in rooms that like have the ideas and then like they're struggling with action. If I'm in the room, I'm going to do everything in my power to help them. Mm-hmm. But there's a point where I'm like, okay, they don't want help or they don't want to grow or this is not something that is important to them. That's when I can make a decision that this red flag is I've got to let that go. But I tolerate rooms where they're not ready to go and move and act. And because I know people do not function the way I function.
Oh, I like it. So I'm going to answer it So Miss Christine says, thank you, Jess and Jen. Christine, I hope you'll be on the after party. Steve Martin says, can I share some stinky advice with you? Skunk Punk. I like that. Hashtag Skunk Punk. Now we need a t-shirt. Or
we have lots of hashtags, I think.
Oh my God, these are good. You know, the one, I'll say it this way, the behavior or the red flag that I tolerate the most is, I'm going to say, solutionizers. And here's why. Not because I love it. Because emotional bungee jumpers was designed specifically to mitigate that behavior, to build our awareness about how much time we spend solutionizing, giving answers, and shanking people, because it breaks human connection. And I believed when we started that, what was it, 3 years ago, I called you, I called everybody, I called Kirby, Adam, Sean, and I said, hey, I have this idea. I want to see it, because in my head, y'all were very influential people, amazing people, the type of leaders that I aspire to be. And you were also freaking solutionizing fools that weren't aware of it. And so whenever, and so that emotional bungee jumpers. And then in the coaching that I do with different companies and leaders and whatever, guess what? There are some solution shanking fools. And so I'm tolerated because I want to same thing like you said with the idea fairs. You want to help them. And so I want to help people with that. And it makes it real easy if they just refuse to accept the fact that they are solutionizers. They are very close to getting on the dead to me list. And so maybe at some point in the future, we will answer this question of what is a dead to me list. So with that, Jen, you got the music ready to go?
I mean, you got the dance?
Yes. All right, hit play, and then we'll get started.